Hey Soul Family, how you doing today? Yeah, I'm here again. Today I want to talk about boundaries. That will be the basis of this video. And we're going to talk about, uh, you know, impeding on someone else's boundaries, trying to control the narrative and also trying to, manipulate through manipulative ways and stuff like that. So let's get into the video. Give me a second. Let me Yeah. So basically, when it comes to boundaries, unfortunately there are people out there that feel like they should control other people's boundaries and way of life and stuff like that. And in most instances, it through manipulation and other means and ways of accomplishing their goals. And unfortunately, that's the wrong approach to when you're trying to get with someone, whether it's relationship or work, and any form of relationship. Could be work, could be marriage, could be social settings, stuff like that. And we throughout our lives, we meet various people, and we connect with some people we don't connect with. And unfortunately, some people, even the ones that we don't connect with, feel like, well, they should still force the narrative and control the person through manipulative ways and other things like that. And to me, from my perspective, there are people that are okay with it. There are people that they don't mind, people that are strong-willed and determined and stuff like that. But when you start to go against someone else's free will, like for example, no is a complete sentence. No means no. And if that's the case, it's not that, the other person that is doing this is any less, or they feel like they're better than the person, whatever. There might be other things that the person do not see fit to, for example, to work with these people, or to get into a relationship, or that type of relationship is just not for them. And there are various reasons why people make certain decisions. And so, when you have people trying to manipulate a situation and restrict other people and do certain things behind the scenes to to make things seem to fall into their advantage or their way, that is just plain out wrong. When you get into manipulation and forcing someone's free will, that is against the universal laws, and there are repercussions. And in some cases, not only repercussions, there are karma that is attached to that situation. Even if the manipulator is successful, it will not last. There will not be a longevity within that relationship. And this is what a lot of people do not understand. They feel like, oh, I should get into this by any means possible, any way possible. And then they wonder why it doesn't work out in the end, or it is short lived. Going against someone's free will, once they find out that they were manipulated that way, then their views of the other person or group of people, whoever that's doing the manipulation, changes. Then they start to have conflicts and other things, and many other things that happen. The conflicts, fights, disagreements, nothing work out. If it's a work situation, the business or the company or the work environment go in disarray. And so the best approach is to make sure that the person is willing and comfortable, and is something that they want to get into. It's not something that should be forced upon anyone to get into certain situations, especially if they have been manipulated and not knowing that that's the situation. They will eventually find out, not so, eventually it will come out. Eventually they'll know, they'll find out. And when they do, then now comes the problem and the issues. And then people wonder why, oh, why this didn't work and why that didn't work and stuff like that. Guys, the best thing to do, from the person that is trying to control the scenario, is to take the better approach, take the right approach in contacting the person and building a solid relationship in a positive way, so when that person, it should also be a win-win situation. A lot of times when people manipulate people into things, it's always because of selfish reasons. It's because they want something out of the situation and the other person shouldn't. And then, that even it contribute to why the relationship is short-lived. Because who wants to get into a relationship, no matter what form it is, with someone or group of people that is only thinking about themselves? Relationships, relation, together, you get it? It has to be a relative thing, relation. It has to be win-win situation. It has to be working. It has to work in a positive way. Some people don't get that. And so they force issues, they force upon others and stuff like that. If you find yourself in a situation where you might be tricked into something or manipulated into something and your boundaries are being crossed, the best thing to do is be upfront and straightforward with the person. Once you know and you become aware of what is going on, be straightforward with them and let them know that, look, this is not what I was looking for. Somehow I felt manipulated into going this direction, but that's not the direction that I truly want to go, and make it very clear to the other person. Sometimes they don't listen. And then when they don't listen, that's their karma. That's things that's going to happen that will force them to understand and get the picture. And besides, someone said, besides, when someone actually knows themselves, know thyself, right? When someone knows themselves and love themselves and is comfortable with themselves, to get that person into a situation or relationship that through manipulation and that they're against their free will, it is automatically going to be disbanded. It's going to be wrong. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because that person already knows what they want out of life, what they're looking for, and how to proceed. So trying to trick that person, manipulate that person into anything relationship wise, work wise, any form of manipulation or anything is going to go wrong. Especially that person might play along with it for a while if it's a win-win situation. But especially when they find out that the other person is just being selfish for their own selfish needs, just for them and everything, automatically that's a no-no. Automatically that person is not going to go for it, right? And the people who are doing these type of things need to learn and understand that they're taking the wrong approach. You should never manipulate anybody into doing anything unless it's something good. I mean, genuinely good, from a good place, from a good heart, not from a place of selfishness, or not from a place of hurt, and not from a place of greed and envy. That type of manipulation is only going to bring karma to the person or people who are doing these things. I once told someone recently, they said, well, how do you feel if you know, knowing that people might be trying to control your life and feel like they're obligated to you and attached to you and whatever. And I said a few things. What I said was, some people unfortunately feel like they should interject themselves into your life and you should be a part of their life, which that's not how it works. It should be a two-way street. Both people or both parties should be comfortable within that union and getting into that union. You don't interject. Some people like to say, oh, that's my soulmate, and interject yourself into that person's life as a soulmate. That person probably don't even see you like that. Not that they look down on you or anything like that, but they don't see you as their person. And everyone is different. Everyone has their preferences, right? That's one thing. Another thing I said is, look, me knowing myself, I knowing who I am, and my peace and my happiness and love comes from within and shines outwards, right? You could take away everything from me, strip me naked down to my underwear. And sometimes even if I don't even have underwear, right? Me personally, knowing myself, right, doesn't change the fact that I still have my own preferences. I'm still self-motivated. I'm still going to move forward within the path that I choose. And normally and naturally, that's the right path for me. I'm only going to choose what's the right path. I'm not going to choose a path even if there's manipulation involved. So it doesn't matter how you change the environment around me. You still cannot change the person I am and who I am and what I am looking for, what I'm striving for. And you definitely won't even get close to my true essence of the being that I am. Definitely. So, this is not a long video. Just wanted to put that out there for people who are doing manipulations to get people into contracts or get people into relationships or get people into social settings, a certain group that they're not comfortable with. That's a no-no against their will. And through manipulation, that's a no-no. That's the wrong approach. And you're only adding karma to your life. And some people might like, oh, well, I've been doing this and there's no karma. And I've been, look, it's coming. It's just adding up. And when it hits you, it's going to hit you heavy. It's going to hit you real, real heavy. The mere fact that you've been avoiding it this long don't mean that it doesn't exist. It means that karma, she's just like, oh, okay, let me put one more on the tally. Okay, all right, yeah, okay. 1,000 things you did wrong, 1,001, and keeps adding up. Listen, folks, stop doing that. It's not the right approach. Do things the right way. What is so hard to do things the right way? Greed, manipulation, selfishness, all those things. 7 deadly sins. Think about it. Do not go into that approach. You're only gonna make the person that you're trying to control or be with or get into a relationship, work-wise or intimate or whatever, turn against you, and it will end badly in the end. It will always end badly. Trust me. That's one message I want to give to you guys today. And from the receiving end of that, when you find out that this has been happening, don't continue to go with it. If you're not comfortable within a situation, leave it alone. Explain your views and your points and your feelings and say, well, hey, look, this is not for me. And, move forward. I'm just speaking on boundaries today. And this is how people enter into other people's boundaries. And they'll say, oh, that's my soulmate or that's my partner. And this, sometimes unbeknownst to that person don't know you. In some cases, that person don't know you. And even if they did, they probably wouldn't give you the time of day. Not because you're less than or anything. It's just that you're going against your free will and what they are looking for. In some cases, maybe you're the perfect person for them, but your approach is wrong. So let's work on approach. Stop going into people's boundaries and try to manipulate and try to control things. For what reason? You're only going to make yourself look foolish in the end, especially for when you're doing it to someone that knows themselves, that is working on themselves, that is healing, that is recovering from things, that is full of love and joy and happiness from the inside out. There's nothing you can change externally that will change what is happening internally for that type of individual. And this is what people do not understand. And some people, they still continue. They still do this and they do that, and they feel like they're getting away with things. It's going to catch up to you. It's going to. That could be a warning, but I'm not issuing warnings. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. All right? Oh, I was having a conversation recently, and the person was like, this is something different from the topic. The person was like, we were talking about sex. And the person was like, so what's your your top two sex positions? I don't know why I'm putting this in the video, but anyway. And I was like, well, the first one starts with a D and end with a G. G. And the person's like, oh, okay, I got it. And what's the second one? And I said, well, my second is sapiosexual. And the person was like, she was like, that's not a position. And I was like, well, depending on how you look at it. If being sapiosexual is in love with someone's intellect and mind, right? Think about it. You like their head, right? I mean, you like their intellect. So, sapios, in that case, you could use that in that situation. But anyway, that was just a funny conversation. We laughed about it for a little bit, then, moved on to the next things. Yeah, and that's basically what I wanted to share with boundaries and stuff like that, And sapiosexual, people are, in my perception of sapiosexual, don't mean you gotta be book smart. You know what I mean? That's not the book smart for me. It is the book smart because of intelligence and intellect, but also street smart. I think people that are street smart is very intelligent people, right? So some people might have bodyguards, right? And I might have a bodyguard, DADDIE guard. You get me? Get me in. We could be driving and the GPS is like redirecting or rerouting, and we got to go through the hood. Now, if you have a bodyguard with you, right? She could go get you in and out the hood safely. You don't got to worry about it. You get me? She knows, she knows the area, right? But anyway, that was just a joke. All right, so be good people. Always show love. Always show peace, and happiness, peace, and prosperity and enlightenment and spirituality is an inside job. Works from the inside out. So continue to work on self. Continue to live as healthy as possible. Continue to treat other people well, right? And it's crazy sometimes when treating other people well and they don't reciprocate that. It's crazy how they get upset when you treat them how they treat you, which is absurd to me. Like, if you want to treat me a certain way and do certain things to probably block my life, blockages or whatever, different things, manipulation. And then when you reciprocate that to them, they get mad. Why are you getting mad? Why are you upset? Why are you upset it don't work? Right? Chill out. What you need to do is get your life in order. You pay too much attention trying to manipulate someone else. And then you're going to realize why your life is falling apart, why certain things is happening in your life and in your surroundings. And is just not good, because you're paying too much attention to someone who is just trying to live their own life and live at peace and live in love, prosperity, grow their own wealth, and live forward. You're envious of that. You're jealous of that. That has nothing to do with the other person. That person is working on self. What we all should do is work on self, including the people who are doing these things, right? So, just a short video today. Just want to send encouragement and love and peace and prosperity to you all, right? Please like, share, and subscribe if you like. And I'm here, right? My channel is open to comments and questions and stuff like that if you would like to contact. If not, then you guys have a good day. Have a happy holiday season. Be good to your family. Spend time with your family and friends. Be of love, be of peace. And we will see each other one day, hopefully, whether through this channel or in person. Who knows? All right? Peace. I'm out.